Apparently some new wheels have arrived at the workshop today. Let's have a lookies. They must be down there. They're SUPERTEAMs. SUPERTEAMs again. So this is their SO Carbon Ultra H2 disc brake. Ta-da! Very nice. Comes with their own little inspection charts, one for each wheel. And another box of, I guess, spare spokes. Very good. At least these wheels come with spare spokes. Some wheels I've had in the past of different brands don't have spare spokes, but these do, and they're carbon fibre ones, so good. Valves, extenders, instructions how to ride wheels. Between that introduction and now, we've actually moved workshop and a few other things as well. Big pipe load to pull out a tree there, cracked pipe in the sewer, got to fix that. And you have to excuse the mess because it's still under construction. But here we are, new workshop. It's bigger, but it's a mess. Trying to get the light right for the workshop, I replaced a piece of alcinite in the roof. That's that plastic sheeting stuff. Anyway, it started to rain, so I went to rush off the roof and I stepped on the alcinite and I fell through, almost fell through onto the concrete floor. But I grabbed hold of the piece of iron as I went through and I almost cut my thumb off. Not good. So if you see this thumb in the video, excuse that. I think I just should stick to bicycles, eh? Anyway, we come here not for home renos, but to have a look at these, the SUPERTEAM wheels. Second time pulling that blind down. Very handy, these blinds, because you can have your tools in the background or whatever you want, or you can pull it down and you have a blank background, which is very handy. Cheapy blinds, just go to your hardware store, you can get them, so there you go. Handy hint for you YouTubers if you don't already do something like that. So SUPERTEAM wheels, here we are. If you've had any interest in carbon fibre wheels at all, there's no doubt you've heard of SUPERTEAM wheels. They're plastered all over Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you want. They're advertising everywhere. And they range from really, really cheap. I've seen some down to $459, I think it's US dollars, $459 for full carbon wheels. That's a pretty amazing. And right up to the top of the range ones, it's these ones, the H2, they're new ones. So SUPERTEAM wheels have been around for a while and they make quite a range of wheels. But are they any good? Are they really, really cheap ones any good as well? Well, we've got a writer here and he loves buying from AliExpress and he bought a pair of the cheaper SUPERTEAM wheels. So here's SUPERTEAM wheels on this guy's, the AliExpress bike. Cochotti. Is it Cochotti? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Cicotti or Chicot, however you want to pronounce it.
And it's got SUPERTEAM wheels on there and they're the cheap ones, aren't they?
Yeah, they're 500 and I think they were 580 plus shipping.
Yeah.
The shipping was the expensive part. That was about $150
yeah.
shipping. But they arrived within a month. So I'm really happy with them.
And this guy's 90 something kilos.
92 kilos and 6'3".
And 6'3", puts out significantly more power than me, that's for sure. And they're 90 mil. No, 80.
88.
88s.
Front and back. That's like I said before. The only thing I would change is, and it was a shame because they didn't come. You know, I didn't have an option. I would have gone maybe 60 for the front because the wind can catch it occasionally, especially down here. 580 plus shipping. So all up with the shipping, it was under $700.
There you go. That's Australian dollars. So that's the cheap SUPERTEAM ones. So a rim brake, and they're 60 tooth clutch. Nice sound. Anyway, you know, he's got an oiled chain all over your hands. Please, people. Please, wax your chain. But these SUPERTEAM wheels, he likes his SUPERTEAM wheels, so he's going to keep riding them.
Absolutely.
Put this one over here, this one over here. Now you can see them a bit better. Now these are SUPERTEAMs top of the range wheel set. It's the S all carbon H2 model. So these have the shark fin design impregnated into the carbon fibre in the moulding. I've got the wavy rim design, I've got carbon fibre spokes, ceramic bearings in the hubs, and the DT style ratchet system, 54 tooth. They're a high gloss finish. I've got these very interesting metallic matrix type decals on there, and of course you can run them tubed or tubeless. Let's have a look at the weights. Front wheel first, 590 grams. Rear wheel, 690 grams. So all up that's 1280 for a pair, including the rim tapes. Internal width 24, external 30. In keeping with aerodynamic trends, you can see there's a slight waviness on the inside circumference of the rim there. It's not overly obvious, but it's there. And I've also got the dimpled effect impregnated into the rim. So it's not a decal, it's actually impregnated, you can feel it. There's a rim tape on the wheels, and if you look underneath, there's holes there, so access to replace your spoke and the nipple if you need to. Spokes are carbon fibre, and they are in width 3.2 millimeters wide, and there are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 on the disc rotor side on the front wheel, and the non-rotor side is 7. So 21 on your front wheel, and on your rear wheel on the cassette side you've got again 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and they're crossing twice, and radial on the disc rotor side on the opposite. So 21 spokes front and rear. The hubs have a satin finish, so they're not shiny or they're not matte, sort of in betweenish. They've got a SUPERTEAM logo on there, if you can see that there. And of course ceramic bearings, smooth as. I can't even remember the time when I got hold of a new set of wheels and the bearings were slightly rough. Must have been at least 11 years ago, because they're all silky smooth nowadays. Ooh, interesting sound. Slow and faster. That's the 54 clutch, remember? Okay, let's check out the dishing of these wheels. Front wheel first. Keep in mind up to 1 millimeter is considered very good. 0.5 of a millimeter, so half a millimeter out there. And the rear wheel, 0.1 or 1/10 of a millimeter. Excellent. Okay, let's check out how true these wheels are. Front wheel first, and laterally 0.23 millimeters, and concentrically 0.39 millimeters. Excellent. Rear wheel, laterally 0.29 millimeters, and concentrically 0.36. Excellent. Spoke tension. I find that rims with a wavy profile on their inside circumference seem to measure more uneven spoke tensions than rims with a constant inner diameter. Front wheel first, and you can see there are 3 spokes on the rotor side which are 20% or more out than all the rest of the spokes, narrowing the tolerance down to 10%, and there are 10 spokes that are out. On the non-rotor side, they're all very close in tension. The rear wheel, 20% tolerance and 1 spoke out on the freer wheel side. And at 10% tolerance, again, there are 10 spokes out and they're all on one side, the free wheel side. The other side is fine. Spoke twist. If you're going to have blade spokes, make sure they're all facing outwards at 90 degrees or the narrowest profile towards the wind. On the rear wheel, I only found 1 spoke up toward the rim, which was twisted slightly inwards, and on the front wheel, 1 toward the hub, and that was slightly outwards. Having a look at the internals of the hub, first the rear with its clutch. The DT style Swiss free hubs should come apart by hand. If you find removing a free hub body a bit difficult, wrap your fingers loosely around it, press down toward the hub flange, and clench your fingers one by one, starting at the hub flange and in sequence, so that the last finger to be clenched is the one toward the axle end caps. Once the free hub body pops up, it's easy to remove. The ratchet spring rests directly onto the bearing. It can do this because it's a flat spring.
so no need for a washer between the spring and the bearing. Ceramic bearings in the back and the front of the free hub body. Single flange dust cap. The clutch rings or star ratchets, which come standard with this wheel set, is 54 tooth. And while the top clutch ring falls out easily, the bottom one is affixed. It's screwed into the hub. It's the EXP ratchet design, so you'll need a tool like this to remove the inner clutch ring. So remove the spacer washer, insert the tool, and you can use an adjustable spanner to undo the clutch ring. There's a plastic dust seal in front of the clutch ring. And there's the bottom clutch ring. There's a thread on it which screws into a thread in the hub. And the bearings on both sides of the hub are also ceramic. So if you ever want to replace or change the number of engagements of the DT ratchet system, you can. Just remember it's the EXP version. Also note is you don't need to use heavy or a lot of grease with these DT styles clutches. Front hub, ceramic bearings again on both sides, and there's a double dust cap on the rotor side. On the non-rotor side, the dust cap can be a little difficult to get off because it's difficult to grab with your fingers. So use this tool. It's a blind bearing puller. You only need a small one and you only need to put it in with your hands and it pulls out easily. And a double dust cap design on this axle end as well.
The cassette body is aluminium, so it would have been nice to see a free hub body saver on this one, but there isn't. It's compatible with Shimano 9 to 12 speed and SRAM 10 and 11 speed, and also SRAM XDR. For the brake rotors, you can get both center lock and 6 bolt. One thing left to do, let's get some tyres and tubes on here and get these wheels on the road.
So the old wheel's off, and we're going to use the same tyres and tubes, cassette and rotors on the SUPERTEAM wheels. Just a little bit of air so it takes shape. The valve hole's near the SUPERTEAM S, so that makes it easy to find. So that's good, tire and tube fits really nicely, nice and easy to put on. Get yourself one of these bigger portable pumps for home, not the little ones, a bigger one. Battery lasts a lot longer. Best practice is to put a bit of grease on the rotor splines and a bit of grease on the lock ring thread. And some grease on the free hub body. Not a lot, just a very fine smear, that's all you need. Because remember, this is an aluminium body, especially if you live in salty areas like by the ocean. I haven't cleaned this cassette since, well, the last time I put the set of wheels on, so look at that. Nice. It's just got a little bit of black marks on it from, or grey marks, that's the wax, but generally it's really, really clean. So advantage of waxing your chain up. Keeps your whole drivetrain much cleaner. Front one's easy, no cassette to worry about. Just the disc rotor and the tire and tube. Beautiful. Ooh, it's going to be a windy one today. And it's just starting to rain. Survived. Zoom along, so they're fine for speed, good for climbing. 50s, a good size 50s. I like 60s because they're faster slightly, but not so quick on the hills, not so nimble. Wait. Early start, I'm still waiting for some slow guys.
Charlie, you got no right to nick off while I'm here.
Banana. Anyway, so at some stage I hit a pretty big bump. I'd call it a dip because it was more of a dip. It's where the council, they come along, they fill in a hole once it's been rained, they fill in a hole and then it's flat, and after about 6 months it starts to be, it sinks down again, it becomes a dip. So anyway, I hit a ramp, so I hit that so hard and my water bottle came out onto the road, and then cars came past, they didn't hit the waterfall. Anyway, so I turned around and picked it up. So the wheels survived a really big boom. Well, just before I start, a lot of people ask me about sunnies, what sort of sunnies I wear. Well, pretty much all sorts. I've tried so many different sorts of sunnies over the years, from the expensive ones to cheap ones. These ones are my favourite because they fit my face, and I like the lens, the colour going into my eyes, the filtered light. It's just nice for me. It's sort of a brown colour, brown rusty colour, and it just makes me feel good. I've had some glasses which they fit okay, but the lenses are terrible. The light's so blue, or it's some other horrible colour, and just don't feel good. For me personally, I just like these brown colour ones, and they fit my face nice and roundly. And guess where I got them from? The chemist, for $12.99. So there you go, you don't have to spend a lot of money on your sunnies. Another pair I like, I don't know what brand they are, these, you've probably seen me some videos. It's a slight bluey tinge, sort of a smoky blue. Anyway, nice, I like these, they fit my face nicely. Interestingly, the lens comes off, it's got little magnets on there, so they're interesting. So hunt down the glasses that fit your face and filter the light nice and make you feel good because of that filtered light. Anyway, Super Team wheels, how are they going? I'm going to ask a question for you. How many wheels in this year's 2025 Tour de France have you seen? How many teams are now using carbon fibre spokes in their wheels? A lot more, isn't it? So these teams are realising carbon fibre spokes in their wheels are not only lighter, but the performance is really, really good as well. If you've got a matte or satin frame which doesn't stand out, your wheels are going to stand out more than your frame. However, if you've got a high gloss frame like mine, then it fits in really, really nicely. Just a little aesthetic detail there. One of the rides I did with the bunch was really, really windy. About 50k an hour winds, and all of us riders got blown about because really the wind comes and it hits your body and it hits your front wheel and pushes you over the side of the road without you wanting to go there. So really it's a compromise. If it's really windy conditions, you might want to go lower profile rims. 60s are great, they're fast, they're aerodynamic, but they do catch the wind that little bit more than 50s. I reckon 50s are the best all-rounder size. 45s are also good, round about that size. 60s, they start catching the wind a bit much. If it's really gusty, really windy, I'd err on the 50 side. Now, I've said it before, with all carbon spoke wheels, you're going to get a silenter ride than with steel spokes or stainless steel spokes. And it's because the steel spokes tend to ring, the carbon ones don't carry the sound so much, they don't ring, it's sort of a dead sound. However, when you put on your power and you're swaying your bike side to side, you do get that whoosh whoosh sound from your tyres. That's if you've got TPU tubes or very light tyres. You get that whoosh whoosh. So just comparing a few releases to these Super Team wheels, CRW have released some new wheels, and they are 1,250 grams a pair, but they're also $1,680 US to buy. Who else is there? Fast Sports with their Evo S and having ceramic speed bearings in them, all very nice. 1,190 grams, nice and light. However, the price tag is $1,699 US dollars, so up there in price again. These Super Team H2 wheels, 1,290 grams, going by the website, I measured a little bit lighter, and only $1,099 US, so significantly less than those other wheels. One thing missing with these Super Team wheels is it'd be nice to see the mullet configuration. Say you want a 60mm depth on the back and a 55 on the front, then you can order it like that. But with these on their website, apparently no, you can't. You've got to stick with 50 and a 50 or whatever sizes they've got.
However, I reckon if you email them, they'll be able to make you a mullet set. As long as they've got the rim sizes in that you like, then they'll be able to build them up for you. Might take another week or so longer to do that, and it might cost you maybe a little bit more or maybe not, but I reckon they can do that. Performance-wise, it's really hard to know what to say anymore. About the last year and a half, 2 years, Chinese wheels, especially those in the upper echelon ones, the ones that have the Chinese name on it, and we know them fairly well, have come so far that the name brand wheels that we know on the Tour de France bikes and all that sort of thing that you see racing really have been challenged. You can get the same performance for significantly cheaper. And that's because a lot of these name brand wheels are also made in Asia. In fact, they're made in China. And the reason is because the manufacturing is all based in China now. Now, in saying that, I reckon SUPERTEAM, especially with these H2 wheels, have officially entered the upper echelon of your Chinese wheel making market. Then you've got the name brands like Roval, just released their CLX3, and Scope, they're really nice lightweight wheels. However, the price just goes up and up and up, doesn't it? In fact, talking about lightweight, the brand Lightweight, made in Germany, have also just released or going to release their new wheels. 990 grams for a pair of wheels. However, you know how much they are? 7,000 euro. So I'm sure if you're watching this video about value for money, you ain't going to go for those sort of wheels. I'm just finishing off the video and doing the discount code, which is 5% off. So if you put in the discount code OzCycle05, you get 5% off. However, late yesterday, I got an email from SUPERTEAM saying they're going to give an extra 8% off for a certain period of time. I think it's about a month or two. So that means 5 plus 8%, you're going to get 13% off. So here's your chance if you've been thinking about these sort of SUPERTEAM wheels, 13% off. If this is your first time going into carbon fibre wheel set and you want to get a nice set, here's your chance to jump straight into a top of the range Chinese carbon fibre wheel set. So 13% off. The other thing is, they said there's 3 different colours. Well, they're not really colours, they're variations of the decals. So I'll put them on the screen there and you can see. So 13% off, go for it. Anyway, I must finish this video. See you soon.
I found these in an op shop.
In an op shop? Oh,
Right?
okay.
And I bought them, and they hadn't been worn. They had the tags on. Someone obviously bought them to someone as a bit of a joke.
You don't get any blood on the road.
No, I slid.
Yeah. Yeah, we just had a car passing a truck on a bend on when there were barriers on both sides. There were those low barriers on both sides too.
I thought it was a big long straight.
Like
The end of the street.
we would be cleaned up totally. The car was doing
There's a bit of a
like
drain up.
there's a 100k section passing a truck, so
That's right, but I
would have been
didn't
100
get the
plus k.
section because
Would have wiped us all out,
Yeah.
but no
I
one
had to
hurt.
concentrate on where I'm riding as well.
We all
I just said,
slammed
well,
on our brakes.
Yeah, it's all good.
It doesn't matter where you live on this planet, cyclists just don't get a good deal, do they, on the road?
Not absolutely. Yeah.
Uh,
I'm sure a few cyclists, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, frightening stuff.
So if you survive your ride, you're on a winner. Well, anyway, so the SUPERTEAM wheels, absolutely fantastic.
Princeton's.
Yeah, Princeton. Have they got wavy bits?
Yeah,
have
Princeton's got one.
they? Okay. So these are not so wavy. Chiricotty, yeah. So the bike went all right today. It's dark. It's so dark. Can't see anything except for the Chiricotties.
What is it?
It's in Lab 71 Chiricotty.
I've just built the whole thing except for the group set off of Valley Express.
We've got his SUPERTEAM wheels. And they went alright today, the wheels, except for the wind.
The wind.
The wind got blown sideways. Oh, we all got blown. We all got blown sideways. And he's got L2. L2. Looks good.
Yeah, it does. It looks great.